Hi everybody, this is Dennis Wilborn, founder of Active Trend Trading. Thank you for taking the time to watch this free video that we do every week. It is a video where we cover the markets. We also have oftentimes have some trades that we might be setting up that you might want to take. But I want to ask you, before you leave the page, as you watch the video, just give us a real quick thumbs up and share the content with somebody else. Leave us a comment. We'd really appreciate that. So aloha, God bless, and mahalo. Hey, good afternoon, everybody. This is Dennis Wilborn with the Active Trend Traders. I want to welcome both the folks who have joined us on the webinar by the webinar, but also anybody who's joining us via Facebook. We like our Facebook friends. If we do this particular webinar once a week on Friday, it's called How to Make Money Trading Stocks, Options, and ETFs. Please share the information with your friends. And if you like the content, please give us a like there on Facebook. That, from what my marketing guy tells, which is my son, tells me, that's what helps Facebook determine whether or not they let you stay on Facebook or not. So with no further ado, let's get on to the getting on part of this section. Hope everybody had a good holiday period and a wonderful new year. My new year was quite good because my Texas Longhorns did, in fact, beat Georgia. And anytime that happens, I'm a happy camper. So let's get going. Welcome everybody to Making Money Trading Stocks, Options, and ETFs, a weekly webinar that we do with Active Trend Trading. We want to make this a 10 to 15 minutes of valuable time. Recognize your valuable time, but 10 to 15 minutes to cover some stocks and ETFs that may be turning around for next week that you want to be paying particular attention to. Want to remind everybody that all materials that we do present are for trading purposes only. Traders should always pay per trade any new method prior to the risk of their own personal capital. This is me and my youngest son, Brandon. Brandon basically began working with me in the trading business back in 2005, just after he graduated from college, and he has turned into an excellent technical analyst, and he actually did basically the majority of the back testing and establishment of the new market action points service. And so he will be joining us on occasion on these webinars. So really glad Brandon is with us. Here's a little bit about myself. I really don't talk about it. I used to be an Old Navy guy, not an Old Navy, the store, but I did 23 years in Navy. And my wife was showing me some other pictures from back. It was almost 40 years ago that I landed for the last time on a carrier deck. And I was looking at some of the pictures of the aircraft that we flew back then. And yes, they were jets. They were not props. But my gosh, where did the time go? Where did the time go? So let's get on. One of the things I know that many of you look at both intraday chart data, and you also look at the daily and all that kind of stuff. Be very careful when you're making daily and weekly decisions on market direction based on intraday data. With the types of markets that we've been having here lately, this can get you in a lot of trouble because oftentimes we'll wake up and we'll see the market is either down a lot or up a little bit. And within the first half hour to an hour time frame, the market gets all turned around. Let's see. It's all turned around, and where you thought it was going turns out to not be where it went at all. So you just want to be very careful with that going forward. What I'm finding is under the current market conditions, it almost pays a person to either look towards the last hour of the day and or just get yourself set up for trades, going into the open, but based on what happened the day before. And so remember, the daily candlestick needs to finish before you can really truly interpret it. Go on. The objective of our sessions today is to basically timely actual intel review at the end of each week, seeking to clarify and simplify market decisions for members who join us via the webinar, so that wealth can be multiplied. I believe that 2019 is going to be just a huge year, regardless of the way it goes, for the premium active trend trading members. And we've gotten into training on that, kicking off the year, and I'm really excited about where things are going to go for folks. So where do we find the market as of right now, 2 hours before it closes? Well, the index is in a retracement rally, back up to a level, what appears to be a resistance level. Is it, the big question we're all asking though, is it running out of gas? Several of the people that I listen to their commentary are saying, that there's a large number of people, and I even saw one article this week that said, short everything you can in the market. Well, typically, if everybody's looking to short, guess what that leads to? That leads to any kind of an uptick leads to short covering. And short covering then can lead to a really rapid, violent move to the upside. So are we getting that right now? Don't know. We'll take a look at stocks and ETFs. Now, I married this session today. I married up with what we do on, normally I put out what's called an Art and Science of Active Trend Trading webinar on the weekend or on Monday, the Monday of the week, to kind of say, okay, what changed over the weekend? To give you an essence of, here's what's changed, and here's what to do to preparing for next week. The other thing I've modified going into 2019 is the bonus trades that I'm going to be talking about. And I'm going to be talking about a potential bonus trade today as we do our review. I'm going to be just looking at the IBD 50. I was doing a bonus trade based on one of the leveraged ETFs, and I said, that's just not fair to the premium active trend trading members who are, basically we're giving the proprietary triggers to trade these leveraged ETFs that have done really well through the past few years. And it's just not fair to provide that to non-premium members. So instead I said, let's just put out a potential bonus trade, but it'll be one of the stocks from the IBD 50. And in case you're just, just tuning in, if you have any comments for me today, please go to the chat board because that way I'll get to see that. If you go to the Q&A, I don't get to see that. So, okay, so as of the 11th, basically we are in the position of just setting up, getting everything ready for 2019. I'm putting my positions in order for my strategy 3, which is basically like covered calls on steroids. So that's done today, and I'll be covering some of that with the members at the next session, which is the final hour session where we talk about what we're trying to sell against those positions. Awesome, David. David's saying he made over 40% on LABU. Excellent. That's one of the entities that the premium members get to follow. So here's where we're at. Just a real quick thing on seasonality. Here's where we are. Typically, the NASDAQ and the rest of the markets they don't do a lot in January, February, March. They start getting a bit up towards the beginning of March. That's tax, getting into tax seasons, and then it tends to, almost, head, I won't say straight up, but is more bullish towards the end of the year. Will we see the same thing happen in 2019? I don't know. Reason I say that is our seasonality over the last couple of years under the Trump presidency has not worked out as well as I would like it to, and it hasn't given us the clues that we would like to see. So, okay, here's where we finished up for the year. We did strategy 1, strategy 3, all of them strategy 1, 21%, 69% on strategy 2, 50% on strategy 3. Overall, we did a composite 36.9%, which I'm saying that ain't bad when the S&P is down 6.15%. So we basically beat the S&P by about 42 points. So for the premium members, I get things like David just sharing, hey, I'm up 40%. Somebody sent me something the other day. Hey, I was up 62% on this trade. That's the kind of stuff that we like to try to do with active trend trading. This is one of the LABU. What makes it so valuable? This is a daily chart. These few moves, 3 moves last year, give us a compounding factor of about 231% to 232%. Now, premium members, of course, get the heads up on the when we're triggering in to these via a text message, a email alert, and now we're actually gone to Facebook Messenger, so you can actually get it, your alerts that way also. So excellent stuff. Looking forward to some of the meetings we got coming up in the future. Our BAM meetings via webinar, February 2nd will be the next one. We're going to be going over some clear and simple trading rules, preparing for record profits this year. We do our streaming video webinars on Facebook, Friday and Monday. You can always email me directly at dww@activetrendtrading.com, or you can reach me on Facebook right here. And we have an active message service going on there. Every Wednesday night, we do training from 6:30, usually an hour's worth of training. And we're basically going over the basics right now of the active trend trading system. If you are a premium member, please plug into that. That'll give basically the foundational ability to trade the system. Here's some of the other things we're working on. So, hey, let's take a real quick look at the 3 charts or 4 charts that I wanted to look at. So, what I'm looking at right now is the the SPY. Weekly chart on the left, and there's the anchor chart, daily chart on the right. And so what are we seeing with the S&P? Basically, we're seeing something that's very similar on all the indexes right now. I'd like to be able to draw on my, okay, here we go. We had kind of a little bit of a fake out. We get this huge death spiral down at the through the month of December, which is kind of unusual because you're normally getting a Santa Claus rally during that time frame. Didn't happen. You get a bounce the last few days of the year. Actually, this was a very healthy bounce. Bounces right back up to resistance, then does a little bit of pullback at the beginning of the year, and then Fed Chairman Powell came out and said, "Oh, we're not going to raise rates as much as we thought we're going to," and blast it off. However, I want to look at something that's happening here. One, big sell-off, big volume, an original nice retracement rally, drops down. Most people thought this was going to drop here and go, "See ya, I'm out of here," and head down this way. Didn't happen. You get this little fake out on the TSI, but look what's happened to the volume here, and even to volume today. The volume is decreasing on the S&P and the SPYs. So where is it at? It basically is retraced up to the 8-week moving average, which is approximately just below the 50-day moving average, or the 34. So we're at a level of resistance where you would anticipate things at least pausing, perhaps turning back over. We shall see. Right now, if prices in where they are right now, we have a bearish harami on the big large candle from yesterday. So I will be paying attention to a couple of things. I want to see before I get bearish again, I want to see a TSI crossover, back down to the downside, and my TSI on a weekly chart will just basically stay oscillating down here towards the low in the downtrend range. What are we doing with the Qs? Qs. Well, that's too many Qs. See what comes up. Nothing. That's it. That what we're looking for? Yeah, here we go. The Qs. Similar type situation. It's more pronounced that the price action is hanging up right below the 50-day moving average. And again, it's in a wait-and-see mode. If TSI crosses back to the downside and price action also gives us a reversal signal, we could come back and retest. Where to? 155, 150. If it really gets nuts to the downside with the Fed doing something or somebody, ticking somebody off of the weekend, we could go back and revisit all the way back down to the 145 level. That's what the majority of people think is going to happen. IWM, this is the Russell. The Russell the small caps tend to lead down and they lead up, as you can see. It's looking fairly positive, but look where it's stopping at, right at can you see that yellow line right there? That's the 50-day moving average. It's just hanging right there and not going. There we go. Not going really anywhere. It just is stopped. And the question I have will be, will TSI roll over here at this past resistance of about 42? That's what's considered the overbought condition. Will it roll over there? Has not rolled over yet. Will it roll over and cross, or will it do a fake out like it did here earlier in the month? We'll see. We'll see. And so now let me cover the one stock that I am very interested in that I'll be sending out an alert to the non-premium members, and that's HQY. HQY. What do we have going on with HQY? Well, one, day before yesterday, we got a nice little TSI tick up. That's one of the indicators that I like to use. So we get a tick up and a cross. And so that's very, very positive. I would like to see that followed with a tick up and cross on the weekly chart. But it looks like it's trying to hammer out a bottom right here around the 50 level. Don't have an entry trigger yet, but we should be, but we're just going to watch and see if one takes place. I'll be watching the intraday charts for setups like that. I do have a buy alert on, based on the TSI right here. And it's down about 50% from its past high, which was up here at 100. So even if we retrace about half of this per the Fibonacci retracement, let's grab that real quick. Cool. Sorry for the extra sound effects, guys. So there we go, right there. So if we get an approximate, I didn't want that. Let's remove one of those. There we go. If we get basically a retracement back up to somewhere between the 50 and the 618 or even the 382, it puts us in this little box up here. How far is that from our current price action? It's kind of nice to know, to see, is it even worth paying attention to this stock? And this move would be about 23%, 26%. Back to the 50% retracement would be about 37%. So for my money, yes, I want to pay attention to HQY. It was a big winner on the IBD 50 last year. Okay, my friends, that basically, and this is the new format for how I will be doing the how to make money trading stocks, options, and ETFs. I'll be covering the indexes and then jumping immediately into, a particular pick that looks like it has promise for a bonus trade, just to say thank you to you for joining with us on this webinar. So with no further ado, thank you so much for joining today. And for the premium members, hey, jump on over. We'll be starting up at the final hour at the top of the hour. And if you're not a premium member, or let's say you're not an active trend member at all, go to our website, become at least a free newsletter member, see what we have to offer, and then we look forward to welcoming you into the big family of premium members. So with that, I bid you adieu. Aloha, and God bless everybody.